Good morning. It's SaTAROTday again with Salon. I am here today with a different deck that's kind of in line with what I'm working on today. So I hope you enjoy. Let's run the intro and we'll get started. All right, so today I want to use a different deck. I think I've used it before at some point, but I don't remember. It's called Tarot of the Dragons by Sean McKenzie, and Firat Solan is the illustrator. I will be doing learning a new pathway in Reiki. A couple things that I'm really interested in general are quantum healing, energy healing, using sound and colors and environment and all kinds of things for healing. So I have gone twice through the Reiki Master training from different people. One was Usui with lineage. The other one was not. Both had value, and I learned a lot from both. Today I'm starting what I hope will be a very long and delightful and meaningful journey with Dragon Reiki. Oftentimes, even before I was very interested in Dragon as a not necessarily a religious path or a part of my pathway, I saw them often in searches for ancestors or as a guide in so many places. And recently, it's really reared its head. Now, I am by no means an expert. This is a new endeavor for me within the last 6 months. And I'm feeling very called to do it. And I thought, I've read some books, I've talked to a couple people, and now I'm working through the Dragon Reiki style. I don't know anything about it. I'm very excited to learn. My main reason for sharing is no matter how long you've been doing this, be open. Learn new things. Reach outside of your normal zone or your comfort zone. I've been learning a lot with Dragon lately, and it has been very enlightening. So with that, I'm going to use this Dragon Reiki. I'm sorry, that's what's on my mind, obviously. This Dragon Tarot to do our weekly read today. Now, we also did a quick read last night on our podcast, and that one really focused on perspective change and how we're managing things in our day-to-day life and learning to cut out certain things that no longer serve us. So we're going to continue that energy today of remembering to cut out the fat that you don't need, that isn't serving or growing you, and then really offering or being able to look at things from a different perspective actively, even if you don't assume them into your practice or assume them into your knowledge base. That decision with that new perspective has value regardless of whether you utilize it or move it into your existence, right? So with that being said, we're going to throw one more shuffle down. Cards did not want to do that one. So we're going to do one more. So one more shuffle down. And we're going to get started. So let's see where this takes us. I'll do a small cut. 7 of Pentacles. Okay. Interesting. We had that one last week, I think. 4 of Cups. Okay. So we're having some pretty good information here. Ace of Wands. We may or may not pull a clarifier later today, so I'm going to set the cards aside right now and really let's go into the meaning of each of the cards for the moment. I have my mic in a different place today. Hopefully it'll be a little bit better than it has been. And so our 7 of Pentacles pretty much displays a dragon here that is wrapping around what looks like it's probably a tree or maybe the world tree. And we have 7 discs up in the sky within that tree, within kind of like the tree branches. So 7s really are meant to me messenger cards. We've talked about this, and I think I pulled this card last week. I'm not 100% sure. I'm pretty sure I pulled something, or at least something that had a similar meaning. And when we go through the tarot, like I often explain, 1, 2, 3, maybe even 4, these are your beginnings. 5, 6, and 7, kind of, your middles. And then 8, 9, 10, your ends. If we're looking at the pip cards or the numbered cards as a cycle, right? And so the 7 is kind of like at a cusp. It's right at the end of the middle or the beginning of the end. And I like those descriptors because they help me kind of understand, what are we doing here? What is the process? So a 7 is like your whatever it is you're in the middle of in your cycle. You're like, okay, do I go forward or not? Do I look? Do I jump into it or not? Or did I do enough? Is it time to move towards the closing of this thing? And the 7 of Pentacles is telling you, better keep left foot, right foot, one foot in front of the other, or you're going to fall behind, or you're going to miss something. So this goes along with, I think, cutting the fat in a sense, and it goes along with, not utilizing things that don't serve you, and also perspective shift, which pretty much every card you can talk that into, right? I mean, seriously. But this one specifically is saying, don't hesitate. Don't second guess your second or third step, because you'll already be halfway across, and you could potentially run yourself into some pretty big issues. The second card, excuse me, 4 of Cups. So the 4 of Cups to me is often, let's talk about 4s first. We're talking about, generally speaking, foundations or things that have the 4 corners or 4 walls that can structurally hold. Now that obviously would be more of a pentacle description. But with the Cups, it really makes me feel like there's things together. There's all sides are present. Now, if I look at the card, I'm seeing a very big dichotomy or difference or contrast, I should say, between this beautifully cobalt or sapphire blue dragon and the dark brown of the earth and the tree that's in this card. And I don't have a lot of good light here, but it looks like what appears to be either ocean or water of some sort behind it. So you get that cups. You have 3 cups that are set before you and one that's set off to the side, perhaps being utilized. And that gives me a little bit of insight into needing to add something into the mix to make it work, right? So let's think of our first card. Don't hesitate. This card is saying, don't hesitate, but you're running out of energy. You need to fluff in some things here. You need to throw in some extra spices, some extra energy, some extra passion, some extra emotion to make it feel like something that you really want to do, because it's there. You're nearing the end of whatever it is you're working on or whatever's bothering or cycle you're on, and it's time to not hesitate and inject something into it to make it more of what you want. And then our final card that we have right now is the Ace of Wands. I know we've talked about these before. To me, aces are, not just a beginning in the cycle, but they are the raw, full energy of that element. In this card, you see, obviously, the wand and the fire-breathing dragon is what I see. You see an egg that looks like it has just broken open. So my assumption here would be this new journey is beginning. A metamorphosis has just changed. Now remember, if we look at aces as a cycle, it's the start of the beginning of something. But as you can see, if there's an egg, and that egg does represent like fertility and growth and new and the beginning of something, a baby, right? Something put that egg there. So it's not really the beginning of the cycle. It's a cycle, right? So try to find the start of a circle in a true circle, right, or a cycle. You're not going to find it because it's all forevering. But anyway, our Ace of Wands often tell us that there's something new coming. Something's getting ready to start. It's often career related when it comes to wands for me and for many people. I mean, that's a traditional meaning. But to me, it always speaks of something that's going to make you feel that you are creating something new, that you are transforming something into a new thing, and that is going to be extremely fulfilling for you. So as we look at our 3 cards here together, we've got, and I'm going to just keyword these for you, we've got continue moving forward without hesitation. We've got throw in a little extra spice, but right now you're pretty stable. Things are going in a good direction. And then we've got this new beginning or movement forward or creation or positive motion that needs that passion. What I want to recognize is we have earth, water, fire. The only thing missing here is air. Last night we had the air, right? The swords, about the cutting, the actual mind screw, if you want to say it that way. But today we don't see a sword. So today what we're looking at is just other things that are present for us and that we want to work through. Now remember, what you see is just as important as what you don't see. So in these cards, when I line them up edge to edge, I'm seeing this full-bodied transformation. So let's think in terms of past, present, future, for example. It's a 3-card draw, and I don't read that way. Like, I don't pull 3 cards and think, oh, this is past, present, future. This is what's above, what's below, and what's between. It's all of those things for me. So I read multiple ways out of this one reading, and that's one of the reasons why I never truly feel like I need more than 3 cards. Oftentimes clarifiers, great. That might be a 4th and 5th and 6th card to clarify, but it's still the 3 base cards. But anyway, you're seeing this brown of the earth, and then you're seeing this emotion. So eyes are starting to open. We're starting to say, oh, this is kind of moving. This is getting me going. And then you see the fire, and so now your eyes are wide open. So if we look at it from past, present, and future, this may mean you've been feeling stuck in the recent past. Right now you're starting to say, wait a minute, I'm seeing some of these things around you, and in the very near future, that fire is going to burn in you, and you're going to start really moving forward into something. So keep your eyes peeled for the things that are around you, because they're coming to greet you and to grow you into this. The moral of these 3 cards is very similar to our read last night. The energy is very much the same. If we cut the fat and we move into things that move away from things that don't serve us, and then we look at where we are, we stop hesitating, we go full force. Where this is a full force, absolutely. Not a let me think about it a little bit. This is a left, right, get the fuck out of my way. Let's do this now. That's this read here. So we've got our don't hesitate, we've got our inject some energy into things, and we've got our fire this up. Let's get this going. Fortune's going to come our way, right? So that's really the energy we're looking at. This is excellent energy for this time of year, as we go into the fall. From a set perspective, or from a cycle perspective, we're really going towards the barren time of the winter. We're also, in the afternoon, I should say, if you're looking at it from a day perspective, right? So think of it as where we are in the afternoon. The big majority for most of us, the day has been going full steam, and we're in a sunsetting period, right? This is the West. This is the area in life and part of our ancestors, so where they come to greet us. And so as we look at our energies and where we are going into this fall, it's often easy to lose some of the stamina and some of the enthusiasm of what's coming ahead. But this is telling us not to lose that. This is telling us very clearly we need to step even harder and step even further, and holding each other up with that earth and that pinnacle, and really start doing the things that serve us, and being enthusiastic about them, and allowing them to become everything that they are. So I feel rambly on this one, just because to me it's been such a beautiful read, and beautiful cards that universe has laid out for us, because I'm feeling it very deeply to myself. Now, if you want to look up some traditional meanings, often, I think that's interesting. You can look at what's in the card and really figure out often what they are, and what that meaning is. And it may be different from what I pull. So I'd love to hear your comments. If you felt differently as the cards come up, or something that might have been read differently when you see that, just say it. Put it in the comments. Hey, look, I see your 7 of Pentacles, and I'm getting X, Y, and Z from it. I want to hear that. I think that's amazing. But anyway, this is a very, to me, balanced reading. We've got a lot of different energies here that are really talking to us. They're always present. We have one of each element except for the swords. That doesn't mean the swords aren't involved. It just means the swords didn't feel the need to have a strong message this morning, because they had a very strong message last night. Look at the trends in your life. Take a second, go outside, and when you're doing things, be mindful, be thoughtful. Observe the things around you and how they make you feel. Recently, I've been doing a lot more yard work, so I'm out in the yard and I'm weeding, and I'm looking at the amazing different sizes and shapes and textures of leaves, and the bugs even that are in there, and how they're acting and what they're doing. And it is quite amazing. It is quite eye-opening. So do that, regardless of what the tarot is talking to you in your life. If you have Any comments or suggestions, please put them in the comments below. Like I say, I love to hear it. I hope this gives you a little bit of enthusiasm for your day, a little bit of feeling that we really do have this. We really can go forward. We are in control of all of the things of our lives. And the dragons in this tarot are telling us to recognize and be present, and work through the things that we need to, and be ready to accept your fortunes that are coming. So with that, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day today, Saturday, or if you're reading this later on or seeing this later in the week, the energy's still there. Hope it speaks to you, and share your thoughts. Love you all. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend.